because people want to take on some risk to try to get some appreciation, because that's the only way you're going to get wealthy. If you're just, if you're working every single day and trying to save money for retirement, it's hard at 2.9% for 10 years.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban giving us his take on stablecoins and the crypto algorithm. Cuban has learned from his experience with Titan that marketing is extremely important in the crypto industry. People can create algorithms with any kind of output and call them stable, which people believe, and is very misleading. Mark says you cannot call all algorithm tokens stable, and all stablecoins should have a pick where it's auditable, definable, and trackable, which is not the case for all cryptocurrencies in the market now. Let's check out this interview with Mark Cuban as he gives us his opinion on stablecoins in the cryptosphere and why he believes Bitcoin is better than gold. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
I didn't get hit nearly as bad as people thought I did on Titan, and I made a lot of the money back being an LP. But it was still, however it played out, depending on who you talk to. What it taught me was, marketing matters in crypto. And when you add the word stable to anything, particularly stable coin, it's a misnomer when it's applied to algorithmic stable coins. So I said at that point in time, having been burned and learned, it became, you start digging in more, right? It's just like when a stock collapses and you realize why it collapsed and you try to not repeat that mistake. It became obvious that, you can define or create algorithms that have any different type of output. But when you call it stable, particularly within the crypto market, then people associate it with stability. And that's what has to change. You can call something an algorithmic token and have it be a function of any number of other inputs. Great. Have at it, right? Because there are other tokens that are some percentage of the LP fees, and in some respects, that's an algorithmic token in and of itself, right? And so you can algorithmic away, just don't call it stable. And for stable coins, it should have a peg where it's auditable, definable, and trackable. And I'm fine with the concept of stable coins, but there's and it's not that you couldn't have an algorithmic stable coin that's pegged to the dollar and invest in treasuries, and you get an additional 0.01% of the treasury, or maybe they invest that 10% of the interest rate they earned in Luna, right? And you get those Luna tokens, and that makes it algorithmic. It's the point that you have to have it stable. If you're going to use the word stable, there has to be a definable, audible, traceable peg. And that just is not the case with all the algorithmic coins that are out there now.
Cuban says the money market funds don't only happen to crypto. In 2008, they've been pegged to the dollar. Cuban notes that Bitcoin is a better store of value than gold, as it's become difficult for people to leave money in the bank. Even though Bitcoin has little utility, it's usurping gold's place in storage. From a pricing perspective, Bitcoin will hold up significantly better than most people are expecting.
There's been funds that have been pegged to the dollar that broke the dollar, and people have been, I don't know if anybody went to jail or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if somebody did. In 2008, a lot of that happened. There's been other times when it happened. So it's not unique to crypto, but how you name something in this day and age matters. And you just can't call it stable. That's the whole thing. You create an algorithmic coin and call it algo coin and do whatever you want with it. It could be Titan the exact same way. It could be Terra and Luna relationship the exact same way. Boom, then you just, you plays the game, you take your chances. I'm actually more positive on Bitcoin than probably most people. There's a lot of arguments to be made about how it's not, decentralized and this and that. But, I think it's a better store of value than gold. If you look across the spectrum of assets, and whether you have $100 to invest or $100 million to invest, when you look across the spectrum, it's difficult for people just to put their money in the bank. And there's risks other than treasuries, which are paying 2.9%, where you lock up your money for 10 years.
Right.
That's not really attractive either. So people are going to make choices of where to put their money. And the question becomes what and when. And right now, I don't think it's when, but I do think Bitcoin is usurping gold as a destination, as a store of value, because gold, people talk about, well, there's no utility on Bitcoin, and you know, I'm can't argue a whole lot of that. There's a little bit of utility, not great, but if you look at gold, it's not like people need jewelry. So I think Bitcoin, from a pricing perspective, I think will hold a lot better than people expect.
Another reason Bitcoin is better than gold is that it's more transferable, as gold isn't normally physical. Buying and selling gold is made up of factionalized and virtualized digital transactions. Cuban believes that there will always be a market for simple store values. He observes many people in the crypto industry who put up money, subsidize it with rewards, and then buy those rewards back from their customers, all in the hopes of being able to create enough transactions to make a profit.
When you look at Bitcoin, it's just the things I've said. It's a store of value, and I think it's better than gold because it's more transferable, easier. Because look, it's not like people actually hold bars of gold. Gold, the buying and selling of gold is all digital transactions. And so, it's all fractionalized and virtualized. So they're six of one, half dozen the other. And so I think there's always going to be a market for simple store of values other than cash, because people are willing to, other your homes even, because people want to take on some risk to try to get some appreciation. Because that's the only way you're going to get wealthy. If you're just, if you're working every single day and trying to save money for retirement, it's hard at 2.9% for 10 years. First, if USDC is transparent like they say they are, now if there's fraud, like what Terra, that was meant to blow up the day it started, right? I got, the only thing I'm mad about with Terra is that I didn't short it. I got the opportunity to invest in Anchor, and I said no, because you can't keep on paying 20% with no source of income. But at the same time, if you think about it, think about what I just said about Ring and how people were investing hundreds of millions to do tens of millions in revenue. It's the exact same thing. Either you subsidize sales of a product, which we've seen with VCs in Silicon Valley time and time again, right? We're raising all this money, and we'll make it up in volume. That's just what's happened with crypto. People put up money and they subsidize it with rewards, and they're buying the rewards back from their customers, hoping they create enough transactions, right? And they make it up somewhere. Anchor wanted to do it through loans and they couldn't do it, right? So that was ripe for failure. USDC is not trying to do those things that I can see. USDC goes public and they're not doing what they're saying they're doing. They're going to jail, right? So USDC going public is a positive for the crypto industry, and I think it returns to their investors. You're right there, but it also allows them to earn a multiple of their earnings, which you can't do as a private company, and the liquidity that comes with that. So if they want to go out and buy Tether and then all of a sudden bring it in their under their umbrella, where that's another however much is left until there's $62 billion, and they want to say, okay, we're going to change it so it's dollar for dollar in treasuries and USD, real US dollars. Okay, there's something to be said for that too. But yeah, I don't look at going public as being a problem, or it's a reflection of the fact that they're dumping on individual investors, because they're just, companies have $1 trillion market caps now. There's just not enough buyers. So Bitcoin I look as a store of value, and the maxis for the most part will just hold on because their cost, they probably already sold what they need to sell, and they don't want to pay taxes on anymore. And so, they're probably going to hold on, and the data from wallets supports that, right? The longer people hold, the longer they hold, right? They do HODL. And Ethereum, the concern there, and I own a lot of Ethereum, is more on the utility, right? So what drives me in and out, and I'm waiting more on the sidelines, I've sold a bunch of my Ethereum, fortunately, is looking to see the applications that drive transaction usage. Because it was DeFi and it was NFTs, and that was driving a ton of transactions. And now that DeFi is no longer being subsidized, you're seeing 2%, 3%, and where you're seeing 10, 15, 20% or more APR, or yield rather, it's because somebody's subsidizing it in their coin, right? And they're doing it 2 orders down, where instead of just writing you a check or sending you money, they're just saying, okay, we're going to give you our token, we want you to hold it, and we'll create some inflation, and we're hoping that there's somebody there to buy it at some point in time. That's a recipe for failure.
What do you guys think about Mark Cuban's thoughts on Bitcoin being a better store of value than gold, and the crypto framework necessary to operate in the market? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.